Morning, folks. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School, out here at the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. What I thought we'd do today is jump into another pioneering style recipe, something that was used to conserve resources that a lot of times today we would just throw away. You know, when bread starts to go stale or it starts to get old and it starts to get a little hard, we tend to either throw it away or feed it to the birds. And that's a lot of times what we do here at my house is, you know, the wife will take it and feed it to the birds. However, there are things that you can make with that bread to conserve it and still have it as a resource and not waste it or get rid of it. One of those things is called bread pudding, and that's what we're going to make today. So stay with me and we'll get started. All right, so we've got a skillet warming up here. We're going to put in about a tablespoon and a half of butter, about a half a cup of milk, and we'll put a little bit more milk in there than that. We'll go ahead and go with almost a full cup. All right, while we're warming that up on low heat here, we're going to add about a third of a cup of sugar. We're going to just put a pinch of salt in there, and about a teaspoon-ish, about a capful of vanilla extract. And then we're going to stir that up and warm it up. Okay, the reason to heat this up is basically to melt that butter down. We also want to mix this so that we get our butter, our sugar, our salt, and our vanilla all mixed in here. Once we've got that butter good and melted in there, and there's no lumps left, we can actually pull it off that low heat and kind of let it cool down a little bit. Just like this. Okay, we're cutting this recipe down as usual to kind of make it fit in a small Dutch oven here. So instead of a half a loaf of bread, we're going to use about a quarter loaf of bread. And we're just going to cut this down to somewhere in the 1 inch, 3/4 inch square. I don't care if they're exact squares or not. I'm just going to cut it up into chunks basically. Just like this. And we'll take that bread and we'll put it in the Dutch oven. And kind of spread it out, sprinkle it around. You don't want those things really stuck together where you're cutting them. So spread them out in there. Make sure you fill the entire bottom of that Dutch oven. Just like this. So when you're done, you've got something that looks like this. Now this recipe only calls for 1 egg if we cut it in half, because the original recipe called for 2. So we're going to go ahead and put one in here and whisk that together. And the object of this game is to not cook this egg, and that's why you want to let this cool down before you do this. And then you're going to pour this mixture on top of your bread. And then you're going to bake it. So when I do this, I'm kind of imagining in my head how much it's going to take to get this about 3/4 of the way full. And if I don't think it's enough, I'll add a little bit of milk. Cool and whisk it in and not worry about it. Then I'm going to pour it all into this Dutch oven. Just like that. As long as I can see it down there below the bread, I'm good. I'm just going to push it down, just like this. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Got a little bit of soakage going on right there and some that aren't soaked, and that's fine. So we're not going to need our second egg. And now we're going to put this on at a medium heat for about 45 minutes until the top of it gets a little brown and the rest of it looks like kind of a shaky custard. We'll talk about that as we go. Okay guys, here we go. We got some plated up right here, cooling down. You can see that pudding custard consistency to it. You can see what's left in the Dutch there. We'll go ahead and put the lid on that to keep it nice and hot. We'll sit down and put some honey on that. Get us a drink and we'll be good. All right, so got us some bread pudding here. Nothing left but the taste test. Drizzle some honey on the top of that dude. We'll take a whole lot because we got kind of a sugar custard in there. Oh man, that looks good. Golly. Ooh, man, look at that. Oh man, golly. Man, you talk about something good. Ooh, man. That was just an awesome dessert, an awesome breakfast. Definitely would not want something sweet to drink with that, but maybe a hot chocolate or something like that. Man, holy cow. Wow, hot. It's so good though. Oh my gosh, that's good. There you go. See how you like that? Better watch out, it's hot. Listen guys, if you got some bread laying around you're getting ready to get rid of, I suggest you try this recipe. You definitely will not be sorry. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your views. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business. All of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'll be back with another video in this series as soon as I can, guys. Thanks. Man. Golly. Wow. So hot as on.